Hello children, today our topic is human nervous coordination. First of all, let us have a look what is the coordination means. Adaptation of body according to the changes of external and internal environment is called coordination. The changes that take place in the external environment which is detectable by the sensory organ is called a stimulus. These stimulus are perceived by receptors. There are 5 receptors in our body. They are eye, ear, skin, tongue and nose. From eye, sight, ear, hearing, skin, touch, tongue, taste and nose, percept, smell. The reaction for a stimulus is known as a response. Mainly the responses are done by effectors. The effectors of our body are muscles and glands. There are 2 ways of doing coordination. They are chemical coordination and nervous coordination. The nervous coordination is done by nervous system. The chemical coordination will be discussed in my next video. When we consider about the nervous coordination, it is done by the majorly nervous system. It is made up with the neuron. The neuron is considered as the structural unit of nervous system. This figure illustrates the structure of the neuron. Basically, it consists 2 parts, mainly cell body and the parts arise from the cell body. The cell body consists nucleus and cell organelles, and the parts arise from cell body are dendrites and axon. The axon is covered with the myelin sheath. In between myelin beads there are Ranvier nodes. These Ranvier nodes are involved to increase the rate of passing impulse. To easily discuss the structure of the nervous system, we can categorize the nervous system into 2 parts. They are central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system consists brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system consists cranial nerves and spinal nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves, 31 pairs of spinal nerves. First of all, let us have a look central nervous system. It consists majorly brain and spinal cord. Brain is covered with the skull and the spinal cord protects by vertebral column. Around the brain and spinal cord, there are meninges membranes are present. In between meninges, this cerebrospinal fluid is present. This cerebrospinal fluid helps to support buoyancy to brain and spinal cord and absorb shocks and jerks, and it protects against microbial infections and desiccation, and also protect from temperature fluctuation. Let's move into the human brain. Human brain consists 3 main parts. They are cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. This cerebrum is the largest part of the human brain. It consists 2 hemispheres. The outermost part of the human brain is called brain cortex. It is highly convoluted to increase the surface area. The cerebrum involves to perception of impulses from receptors, identification of received sensory informations and storage of those informations. And also it perceives senses about vision, taste, smell, hearing, pain and temperature. And it can perform high mental activities such as learning, intelligence and thinking. And it also involves to control the voluntary muscles contractions. The second part of cerebellum, it is also consists 2 hemispheres, and it involves to maintain the body balance, control voluntary muscle activity and involves to maintain the body movement. The third part of human brain is medulla oblongata. It controls involuntary actions such as rate of heartbeat and rate of respiration. and also it controls reflex actions such as vomiting, coughing and swallowing. Cortex of brain is gray color because of presence of gray matter. These gray matters are cell bodies of the neuron. The inner part of the brain is white color because of the white matter. The reason for the white matter is the myelin sheath of the axons of neuron. Then let's move into the functional unit of the nervous system. It is called reflex arc. You might have experiences like this in your day-to-day life. Those are called reflex actions. The reflex actions is a sudden involuntary response to a particular stimulus. There are two types of reflex actions. They are spinal reflexes and cranial reflexes. Mainly spinal reflexes are controlled by spinal cord and the cranial reflexes are controlled by human brain. Examples for the spinal reflexes are moving the hand away when it contacts with the hot surface and the lifting the leg when you step on a throne. An example for the cranial reflexes: sneezing, salivation and blinking eyelids. To maintain these reflex actions, there are three types of neurons are involved. In here you can see there are three types of neurons: sensory nerves and motor neurons and the interneuron. These interneurons are present inside the spinal cord. When you are doing a reflex action, the sensory stimuli is perceived by the receptor, is carried by the sensory neurons to the spinal cord. Inside the spinal cord there is a interneuron. This interneuron transmit these impulses from sensory neurons to motor neuron. And then motor neuron transmit these impulses to the effectors to do the response. This is the pathway of reflex arc. First stimulus and it perceived by receptor. Receptor again transmit the stimulus by sensory, inter and motor neurons respectively to the effector, and the effector do response. Last part of this lesson is autonomous nervous system. This autonomous nervous system control involuntary actions in our body. The coordinating center of the autonomic nervous system are hypothalamus and medulla oblongata. There are two subsystems in the autonomic nervous system. They are sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Normally, actions controlled by the sympathetic system can be keep in mind when you are the changes the changes that occurs in your body when you are get frightened are the actions controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. The reverse actions of the sympathetic nervous systems are controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system. When you are get frightened, your pupil size increase and inhibit saliva excretion and increase heartbeat and aeration of lungs and decrease peristalsis. Those are controlled by sympathetic nervous system. Opposite actions for these are controlled by parasympathetic system. Reduce size of pupil, stimulus saliva secretion, reduce heartbeat and aeration of lungs, and the increase of peristalsis are done by parasympathetic nervous system. That's it about the nervous coordination. I'll bring my next video soon. Until then, goodbye, and don't forget to subscribe my